Okay, good afternoon, everyone. How's your day been so far? Yeah, good, brilliant. Yeah, I've got some insights into something new, which is the Lloyds Banking Group. So that was a nice chat to listen to regarding their IDP. So it's been really good for me as well. Okay, I'll just tell you how I ended up here. So on Thursday afternoon, my manager says, "Oh, I've got a family commitment and I can't make it for the conference." So he says, "Look, I've prepared the slides. Don't worry, you'll be okay." So when your boss says that, you've got no choice but to say, "Okay, yeah, I'll give it a go." And he says, "Here's the slides. Get on with it." Right. So the real reason why I've come here is because you get a free T-shirt. So that's how I ended up here now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the University of Manchester's cloud journey. We're at the beginning of that journey, and I'm sure there's lots of organizations that are a lot more mature, but it's been interesting. I've been at the university for about 15, 16 months. Yeah, so I came from the private sector into public sector, and it's been a real eye-opener for me, and lots of challenges, but like everyone, we're all up for these challenges. Okay, so I've told you my name. Oh, my name's Nisar Khan, Head of Platform at the University of Manchester. Okay, let's have a look. Right, I'm going to play you a nice video of the university while I grab a glass of water. Oh, brilliant, here you are.
The university is a place that evokes many words.
For me, it's a sense of pride.
It's a home, a dream come true, and a place where I've gained confidence to tackle my dreams.
Well, it's a place that is both global and local.
This is a place of excellence, but I've also always associated it with a bit of radicalism.
It's a place where you can wander through knowledge.
It's a great place to work, a great place to teach, and a great place to do the research that I've always wanted to do.
The University of Manchester is about new people and new knowledge and the impact of both in society.
It is a strong institution with a clear sense of purpose.
The university is a beacon of interdisciplinary research.
This is a place where I feel I'm genuinely treasured.
It's progressive, egalitarian, humanistic, and inventive.
It's a fantastic learning environment.
It's knowledge, it's learning, it's innovation. It's the heart of Manchester.
To me, this is home. This is where I've grown up.
It's a vibrant and exciting community of students and staff on a fantastic emerging campus in a great city, Manchester, the original modern city.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video. That decreases the time I have to speak now. So, okay, right. Manchester University has got a lot of academic history and heritage, and as you can see from this timeline, there's a lot of people who have had Nobel Prize winners, 25. Some other facts as well. We've got 45,000 students that we cater for, with 9 out of 10 going into employment or further studies. So there's some, and it's a great place to work, great place to study, and there's lots and lots of buildings on the campus. It was quite amazing for me when I first arrived how many buildings there were, and then believe it or not, they've got a place in Dubai as well. And I think my manager is going to go and visit Dubai, and I'd love the chance. Okay, so a bit more history. Invention of the virtual memory by a collaboration by Tom Kilburn and Ferranti. And again, there's lots of, I think the first stored computer was done by Tom Kilburn in 1948. So again, there's a lot of IT history at the university as well. I like this slide for two reasons. First of all, we work in the Kilburn building, so IT departments in the Kilburn building, but also I started my career at Ferranti as a apprentice many, many years ago, and they've got bought out by Telus. So Ferranti being a defence company, I was based at Cheadle in Stockport. Okay, going back to basics, this is an interesting slide because I don't know if you're aware or not, but last year the university suffered a cyber attack in July. Anyone aware of that? It was all over the news, all over the papers and etc. and internet. Okay, so that forced us to basically shut down our Azure tenant, and we shut it down in a controlled manner, took out the workloads, backed up the data just in case. Even though they could contain vulnerabilities, we put them in a segregated area, and we had to then think about our cloud strategy and where we are now and where we wanted to get to. So all the think tanks got together and we realized that we wanted to go multi-cloud, not be dependent on one particular vendor, and also we had an on-prem presence as well. So we rebuilt Azure, and we rebuilt it with the 3 pillars. And in my eyes, these are the 3 most important pillars: well architected, secure, and cost optimized. And we built it like a house, solid foundations, brick walls, roof, make it all watertight, then put in the windows and the doors for security, and you get the key to let only authorized people into the building. And then you've got the rooms ready-made for workloads to just come in and slot in. That was our vision. That's what we wanted, and we wanted it to be easy to use for development teams to spin up workloads and put them in those empty rooms. Okay. So the drivers for the hybrid cloud were cost management. So again, the first 3 months that I arrived at the university with the existing Azure, I found lots of cost savings. And they were just simple things like deallocating unused VMs, right sizing, also reservation plans. And I'm going to give you the percentage that I saved at the end, but cost management is quite key, especially at the University of Manchester, where people were just spinning up environments and development teams were doing POCs, etc., and there was no afterthought in terms of supporting or maintaining those. Scalability, that's another important driver, because we have key business events throughout the year, such as student enrollment. That's quite key. So if our systems fail or go down or are slow, then that's going to give the wrong impression to the students, but also it's going to have an impact on the ranking of the university compared to its peers. So scalability of the application was quite important. Reliability with built-in redundancy. So if the application goes down, is it an auto failover? Make sure we have a DR plan in place, whether it's manual or an automatic DR process. And also, what happens if the whole of Azure goes down? That was another conversation we had. What do we do? Okay, making sure that our workloads and our cloud environment are secure and compliant with the regulatory security regulations within the industry. There's a few of them there. And also, in my mind, I've always got a concept of shift left. I know it got mentioned on our table and some of the conversations, etc. I live and breathe shift left, so that's another culture that I wanted to instill into the university, and we're making slow inroads into that. Also, proactive alerting and monitoring. It's like someone mentioned, logs are expensive, but having proactive alerting and monitoring 24/7, why wait for something to go down when you can get an early indication? Okay, this is a quote from my manager. He put it there. What I can what the spin I can put on that is the right workloads for the right cloud, but also understanding how those workloads interact with each other, the integrations between them, and also the best use case for each type of workload. If you just want to have a finish off reading that. And also UX design and also market needs. Right, hybrid cloud infrastructure. Like I said, right workloads for the best use cases. So at the moment, within the university, we've got AWS mainly being used by the research IT department. Azure, we've confined it to business apps within the university. And also, GCP is something that we're going to acquire in September. And there's conversations going on that we should use that for all our AI applications. Build automated infrastructure. Okay, so this is where Terraform Cloud has come in, and that third-party relationship with HashiCorp and having cloud agnostic tools. GitLab, Terraform were top of our list. We procured them in August, September time last year, and we're at the beginning of that journey. I'm going to talk about it a bit more later. Creation of the platform engineering team. Right, so the first thing I did in the first 3 months of arriving at the university is I noticed that there was a lot of silo teams, and to get something done, you'd have to raise a ticket, and then that other team would then pick it up when they wanted to, and then they'd say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, we're looking at it, but we've got other tickets to look at, and things would take ages to get done. So I wanted to create that platform engineering team, that center of excellence, which could work closely with the DevOps teams, but also security, IDAM, and basically all, because cloud is not just one team's responsibility, it's the responsibility to the entire organization. So, and then one step further with creating that platform engineering team is I wanted to instill the culture of Agile and Scrum, and have the teams in the same Scrum. So you'd have a network engineer, you'd have a security architect, a cloud architect, the DevOps engineers, and also platform engineer, all in the same Scrum, on the same daily stand-up, with the same Scrum ceremonies going on, and they'd be talking to each other, and there'd be no raising a ticket and get this done 5 days later. They'd be sorting it out there and then. So that's how we increase that pace. And that's like leading that speed to market, because we need to make sure that we're creating great products, quality products, and we're remaining competitive with our other universities. And also remove vendor lock-in, because the only cloud that we had in when I first arrived in January 2023 was Azure. And guess what happened in April 2023? Microsoft increased their prices by 9%. So we were stuck, basically. Okay, so this is another diagram that my manager's done. And this is all about the 3 different clouds that we're going to be using. There's Azure that is already being developed, and there's workloads going in there. And also, there's mainly there's a student experience application that's being developed to go live in July. There's the most critical website for the university going into AWS live in August. That's going to be the manchester.ac.uk website, which everyone sees, students, visitors, everyone. And when that goes down, we get phone calls from the CTO. At the moment, it's on-prem, so they're getting all the noise. But when it goes live, we need to make sure that it's robust, it's got that DR, it's got the scalability, and we're not going to get a telephone call at 2 o'clock in the morning. And also, we want to be in a position where colleagues, students and visitors can go direct to those cloud applications rather than having to go on, through the on-prem system, which is what was being done before. So they were getting bounced around, and that caused latency issues. Okay, guiding principles. Terraform, top of the list. Infrastructure as code. I don't need to talk about it too much, but it's cloud agnostic. You've got Vault in there, which we've also started using for our secrets and credentials, etc. We're at the beginning of that journey, and there was a nice Vault presentation this morning by London Exchange, and that was quite interesting because that's where we want to get to. Okay, that boomerang connections is what I just mentioned, where the traffic was being bounced from campus to cloud back to campus, causing latency issues. So we want to remove that. FinOps, we want to be able to understand what our chargeback is, the invoicing, and be in a position where we can do that forecasting and say, this is what the environment's costing now, what will it cost in 6 months, in 12 months? Because the finance director comes knocking on our door and says, you've gone over budget, or what's your forecast for next year? And if we've got something like FinOps, the way we've approached it is by having Power BI hook into Azure, and that then has all the metrics. We feed that into Power BI, give some nice lovely reports, and also you can do that forecasting as well. The good thing about Power BI is we're also going to connect it to AWS, and then we get that single pane of glass for FinOps. Monitoring, again, that's very, very key, whether it's security monitoring or proactive alerting and monitoring within the application. Team setup, like I mentioned, it was all silos when I first arrived at the university, and ticket-based to get things done from another team. And we're changing that mindset and culture, but it takes time. Like tools and technology you can buy off the shelf, and you can go on a course and learn it, but that sort of mindset and culture, especially when people have been at the university for 10, 20, 30 years, it's bringing them along the journey. Full fat VMs, what that means is we don't want to start spinning up VMs. We want to move towards PaaS and SaaS, mainly because it helps with less support and maintenance and patching and upgrades. That's the last thing we want to spend our team doing. We want to be adding value to innovative solutions, and I'm going to use this word, self-service, because that's the direction we all want to go in. And again, the 3 pillars: well architected, secure, cost optimized. Those are the words that we all talk about at the university and in our IT teams. Okay, keys delivery. If you can't deliver, and you've got all the tools and talent and technology, but if we're not delivering anything, it doesn't mean anything at all, because we want to make sure that we deliver great products for students, visitors, and we remain competitive with all the other universities. So what have we delivered so far? So we got Azure back on track. Like I said, we rebuilt it from first principles, and we had a third party, Microsoft, working with us, and we also had NCC for our assurance piece. So we made sure that this time round we did everything by best practices, and we met the regulatory requirements. Also, we had a new CISO arrive at the university, Heather Lowry. I don't know if you've come across her on LinkedIn, or she does a lot of public speaking, but she was instrumental in bringing that security element to the university, and also helping out with that cyber security incident. Sound foundations to deliver, ability to move workloads using based on use service, and also depending on cost, availability, and specialism, like I mentioned with the research IT and business apps. Okay, faster pace. Working at pace, that middle bit resonates with me, because you need to create that ecosystem within your team. It's all right having talented people, but they need to be collaboratively working together and also bringing each other along that journey. So we've recently recruited a cloud architect a few months ago. We've had platform engineering, which I'm in charge of, and I've recruited some excellent people who are helping with those reusable components and the DevOps tools and Docker and containerization, etc. And we're putting those building blocks in place for other DevOps teams to use. And then there's pockets of AWS outposts and websites throughout the university. Also, we've had a new ITOC department set up, which is the IT Operational Center, and that's a 24/7 monitoring for all cloud services and on-prem, which we didn't have before. There was no out-of-hours support. Okay, so this is a nice picture of where we go for walks and talks at the university. We've got coffee breaks, and when we're like a little bit stressed up with ideas and things, go for a walk, have a chit chat, come back, and that's where some of the best ideas originate from. Lots of plants and trees, etc. So that's just a vision of our campus. Okay, cloud center of something. Yeah. We want to be excellent at what we do. And some of the initiatives that we've come up with are setting up cloud groups. So we've got a dedicated channel for GitLab discussions, one for Terraform discussions, and also where we bring in third parties. So we've got a GitLab coming in to do a presentation. HashiCorp have come in and done presentations in the past as well. And it's all bringing the teams together, because it's all right for the platform engineering team to be that cloud center of excellence, but we don't want to be that single point of contact for everything, because there's only 6 or 7 of us at the moment. We want to share that knowledge with all the DevOps teams, so then they're self-sufficient then. And one thing that I like doing is I'm an advocate of training plans and skills matrices, and see where those knowledge gaps are and help the team improve, and also the wider teams. Then infrastructure as code is everything. But occasionally, as a last resort, we might do the odd click if it's approved and audited. Okay, and yeah, bringing good people together. Right, so this slide is my favorite slide. Actually, this is the one I did. So it's all about creating that internal developer platform, which we've all had good conversations, and we'll listen to Lloyd's Banking Group before. And we're at the beginning of that journey. So we're creating those reusable components in terms of modules, VNets, subnets, database. So then a development team can come along from the repo or from a library. They can just spin up a VNet and subnets without even having to think about CIDR ranges or public or private. All that hard work's done for them, because we as a platform engineering team are automating as much as we can to scale it out to all the development teams within the university. And then also we're getting a key set of DevOps tools that hook in and communicate with each other. So we're investing in ServiceNow. We've already got Terraform, got GitLab, we've got Jira. And what I want to do is I want to be able to integrate all those tools so they're all hooking into each other with APIs. So when the Jira ticket moves from left to right, it's also doing all the merges and commits and everything to GitLab. And then once it's done, then it goes into ServiceNow, creates that audit trail in terms of CRs. That's where I want to get to. So the development teams can then use that internal developer platform to then provision those cloud services without having to raise tickets or engage with the platform engineering team. Then we've got the ITOC Center, the 24/7 monitoring system, which we're also helping. So we're creating dashboards for them. We're doing monitoring as code for them as well. And again, that's all automated through infrastructure as code. Okay, we want to embrace infrastructure as code in other areas. So networking as code, policy as code, security as code, everywhere throughout the whole of the university. That's key, because that's how we're going to fully automate everything. So when a security architect or a security engineer comes along, we want to be in a position where they can make that change to the JSON file, they put it into GitLab, and off it goes and gets provisioned through an appropriate approval process. And we're already having conversations with the network team, and they love it because at the moment, to do a firewall change, it takes about 2 weeks. And if we can automate that, that could get done within minutes. There's a Network 2030 transformation project going on at the moment. And again, we want to be able to use infrastructure as code on that. Then FinOps, we want to make sure we don't break the bank, because every quarter I get a knock on the door saying, can I have the latest figures? And when I first turned up at the university, I was doing all that manually through spreadsheets, etc. And I says, look, I can't spend 3 days doing this. So that's where the Power BI report came in. And now the finance director, giving them access to that, and they can just see the forecast, last year's, next year's, and which projects are allocated to which cost codes. So again, it's the beginning of our journey. We're also going to do the same with AWS, make a connection into those metrics, and then we have that single pane of glass. Okay, what are the benefits of, how has the university benefited from this and going forward? Well, if the applications are stable, the UI, the UX is appealing to use and easy to use, the workflows, then that improves student experience. You get more enrollments, and then that impacts the national student survey results, which then leads to a higher ranking for the Manchester University, and also, most importantly, is more research grants. And every organisation wants more money at the end of the day, so that all helps to bring in new revenue. Then also reduced IT support, because we've been adopting PaaS and SaaS solutions. Good example is the data warehouse within the university had 80 VMs, and with the cyber incident got shut down, but they're re-evaluating that now, and they're going to be looking at Fabric. Okay, that single pane of glass view across all the clouds for monitoring. There's conversations going on about Grafana and Splunk, etc. So we want to be able to, again, use that cloud agnostic tool to hook into all our clouds. And there's that lovely 20% cost saving that I made within the first 3 months of arriving at the university, and it wasn't anything complicated, just using the basics. And what happened to that was that PJ, the CTO at the university, came over and gave us a hug, and he says, what do you want? And I says, well, I could do with another headcount. So what I ended up convincing him was to repurpose that 20% cost saving and give me an additional headcount at in the platform engineering team. So it was all good, and I've enjoyed my experience so far, and I'm looking forward to the next 18 months. So thank you for listening, and I hope you have a brilliant rest of the day.